This video is about heroes confront Typhon in ancient Greece, but monster escapes. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Part 1 The Gathering Storm. In the age when the gods still walked among mortals, the earth trembled beneath the weight of their celestial power and the shadows of ancient errors. It was a time of heroes and monsters, of divine retribution and mortal bravery. The air crackled with tension as whispers of doom spread from village to village, stirring fear and sorrow in the hearts of men. Typhon, the monstrous offspring of Gaia and Tartarus, had broken free from his prison beneath the earth, rising like a storm ready to rend the very fabric of existence. The sun hung low over Olympus, casting its golden light upon the pantheon of gods who convened in anxious deliberation. At the center, Zeus, the king of the gods, his visage marked by the weight of impending catastrophe, addressed his kin. Typhon has awakened, he declared, his voice rumbling like thunder. He seeks vengeance against us. If we do not act swiftly, all of Greece shall fall to his wrath. The goddess Athena, wise and fierce, stood with unwavering resolve. We cannot face him alone, Father. The mortals must join our cause. They possess a strength born of desperation, a courage that can rival even the gods. From the shadows, Hades, lord of the underworld, spoke, his voice a chilling echo. What of the prophecy? Typhon's wrath heralds a great reckoning. Should we succeed in defeating him, it may not guarantee our reign remains unchallenged. A wave of unease rippled through the assembly, for the gods understood that destiny was a fickle companion. But time was not on their side. Zeus extended his hand, shimmering with divine energy. We shall summon heroes who are destined to confront this terror. They will be our champions. As the gods forged a plan, the earth quaked in response to Typhon's fury. With each tremor, he unleashed tempests that unleashed storms far and wide, twisting the skies into chaotic whirlwinds. Villages were uprooted, and the cries of mortals echoed like a tragic symphony. Desperation filled the hearts of those who witnessed the devastation wrought upon their lands. In a humble village of Argo, warriors gathered near the sacred oak, their faces etched with determination. Among them was Theseus, famed for his cunning and valor, and Atalanta, the swift huntress known for her unmatched agility. The pair exchanged glances, both understanding the weight of their shared fate. We must heed the call of the gods, Theseus urged, his voice a clarion amidst the gathering storm. If we do not rise against Typhon, we resign ourselves to oblivion. Atalanta nodded, her eyes flashing with resolve. We are not mere pawns in the gods' games. We shall fight for our families, our homes, and our very lives. Let the winds carry our names into legend. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the village, a figure emerged from the shadows. Heracles, the demigod renowned for his strength and bravado. His broad shoulders bore the weight of countless trials, but this battle would test him like none before. I have come to join you, he announced, his voice resonating with confidence. Together, we shall forge a path toward victory. Their hearts aflame with purpose, the trio set forth, determined to unite the other warriors who would answer the call of destiny. Guided by the will of the gods, they traveled through treacherous valleys and up craggy mountains, seeking those who still possessed the courage to stand against Typhon. In the darkened woods of Arcadia, they encountered a band of warriors led by the fierce and noble Agamemnon. I thought the world had forgotten honor, he declared, his voice echoing like a battle cry. But I see now that there are still those willing to rise against darkness. As the group swelled, word spread through the land like wildfire. Men and women, young and old, flocked to join the ranks of heroes as the stories of Typhon's wrath ignited their spirits. Each warrior brought with them a tale of loss, a reason to fight. The night before the anticipated confrontation, the heroes gathered at the foot of Mount Etna, where smoke billowed like the breath of the beast they sought to confront. Their spirits were tempered by fear, yet forged in the fires of courage. They shared tales, forging bonds that would strengthen their resolve. I have faced many trials, Heracles spoke, his voice steady, but none have filled me with the dread I feel now. Typhon is no mere monster, he is a force of nature, a tempest incarnate. Atalanta's eyes glimmered in the dim light. We are not alone in this fight. The gods have bestowed their blessings upon us. Each of us carries a piece of their strength. Together, we shall become a tempest of our own. The dawn broke on the fateful day, a crimson sun rising over the horizon, illuminating the path before them, as if the heavens themselves had turned their gaze upon the heroes. They could feel the rumble beneath their feet, a sign that Typhon was no longer dormant. Their resolve hardened as they marched toward the mountain, their hearts synchronized with the pulse of the earth. As they ascended the slopes of Mount Etna, they came face to face with the very embodiment of chaos. Typhon towered in the distance, his serpentine body coiling around the volcanic mountain, eyes like burning coals, filling the sky with dark clouds. "Foolish mortals," Typhon roared, a voice that shook the heavens. "You dare challenge a god? I shall unleash the fury of the cosmos upon you." With a primal roar, he unleashed a storm of fire and fury. Lightning crackled as the serpents writhed, spewing flames that turned the very air to ash. The heroes braced themselves, standing shoulder to shoulder against the onslaught. "Fight!" Theseus shouted, his sword raised high. "For our homes, for our lives!" The clash began. Heracles charged forward, his strength unmatched, throwing boulders at Typhon's monstrous form while dodging the scorching flames. Atalanta nimbly danced around the battlefield, her arrows finding their mark, striking the serpentine heads that snaked around the beast. But for every blow they landed, Typhon retaliated with unbridled ferocity. His serpents lashed out, battering the heroes as he summoned winds that swept them off their feet. The ground shook violently, and the mountain itself trembled under the weight of their struggle. "Regroup," Agamemnon bellowed, rallying the heroes amidst the chaos. "We cannot fight him alone, we must combine our strengths." In that moment of unity, the heroes pooled their powers. Theseus summoned the cunning of Athena, Heracles wielded the raw strength of Zeus, and Atalanta called upon the speed of Hermes. They became a whirlwind of energy and hope, striking at Typhon with all their might. But just as victory seemed within their grasp, the ground split beneath them. Typhon, sensing the tide of battle turning, unleashed his full power, a cataclysmic roar that echoed through the mountains, scattering the heroes and sending them tumbling. In that moment of confusion, Typhon made a desperate retreat, slithering into the depths of the earth from whence he came, leaving behind a swirling maelstrom of destruction. The heroes lay battered and bruised, their dreams of triumph shattered like glass. They had confronted the storm, but it had escaped their grasp. As the dust settled, Theseus struggled to rise, his heart heavy with failure. "We failed. We could not contain the beast." Atalanta knelt beside him, her spirit unbroken. "We may not have defeated him today, but we have shown that we will not cower in fear. This is not the end. We shall prepare, and we shall return stronger." With determination ignited in their hearts, the heroes vowed to rise again, to reclaim their fate from the clutches of darkness. United by purpose and bound by honor, they knew that the struggle against Typhon had only just begun, and destiny awaited their next move. Thus, the legend of their confrontation with this storm unfolded, a tale of bravery, tragedy, and perseverance that will echo through the ages, igniting the hearts of those who dared to stand against the shadows that threatened to consume their world. Part 2: The Rising Tempest. As the ashes of their defeat settled around them, a solemn silence enveloped the battlefield. The heroes, bruised and weary, struggled to gather their shattered spirits, each caught in the grip of despair. The echoes of Typhon's wrath still reverberated in their chests, a grim reminder of their failure. "Look around you," Agamemnon said, his voice strained but resolute. "We may have lost the battle, but the war is far from over. We live to fight another day." He cast his gaze over the motley group of warriors, their faces painted in the colors of anguish and determination. Heracles stood, his massive form silhouetted against the fiery horizon. "I have faced many beasts hider," Nemean lion, but this was unlike any foe. Typhon is not just a monster, he is chaos incarnate. His voice trembled only slightly, for the weight of his failures was a burden he had grown accustomed to carry. Atalanta, still kneeling amidst the rubble, looked up, her fierce spirit refusing to wane. "Chaos can be tamed. We must gather our strength and forge it into a weapon. Each of us has our role to play. Together, we can rise again." As they spoke, the remnants of the battlefield began to tremble. The earth shivered with an ominous energy, and the sky darkened once more as thunder rumbled in the distance. The heroes exchanged worried glances. Typhon had not retreated far. "Is he coming back?" Theseus whispered, tread lacing his voice. "Can we even stand against him again?" Before anyone could answer, a flash of lightning illuminated the horizon, revealing a figure cloaked in darkness, a harbinger of calamity. From the depths of the mountain, a second wave of energy pulsed, rising like a tidal wave. "Prepare yourselves," Agamemnon shouted, rallying what remained of their courage. "If it is indeed Typhon, we must stand united against him." But in that moment, a divine presence manifested before them, a radiant light breaking through the storm clouds. Zeus himself descended from Olympus, his golden hair flowing like molten sun, eyes alight with fury and determination. "Heroes of Greece," he proclaimed, his voice a thunderclap that resonated through their very souls. "You have faced true terror and survived. You have shown the strength of mortals that even I respect. But know this, Typhon is a foe of unparalleled power. You must be more than brave. You must be wise and cunning." Athena stepped forward, her armor gleaming like a beacon. We must devise a plan. Typhon may be a creature of chaos, but he is not invincible. We can exploit his weakness. Speak, dear sister, Zeus urged, his voice softening. Show them the path. Athena's eyes glimmered with the light of inspiration. Typhon is bound not just by physical might, but by hubris. He believes no one can challenge him. If we can lure him into a trap, we may have a chance to bind him once more. Heracles clenched his fists, the fire of battle igniting within him again. What do you suggest, Athena? We will need a decoy, she replied, her gaze shifting to Theseus. Your wit and courage will serve as bait. Draw him out from his lair, and we will strike his heart with our combined strength, but we must act swiftly before he regains his full power. As the plan unfolded, the heroes rallied their spirits anew, their eyes alight with hope. Each warrior understood the gravity of their task, the balance between life and death tipping ever closer. They prepared themselves for the coming storm, forging weapons from the remnants of the battlefield and sharpening their resolve. The night before their new confrontation, the heroes gathered once more at the base of Mount Etna. The moon hung high, casting a silvery glow over the gathering. The tension in the air was palpable. Each was lost in their thoughts, reflecting on the cost of their struggle and the sacrifices that lay ahead. I have walked through the shadows of the underworld, facing my own fears. Hades spoke softly, his presence a chill amongst the warmth of the fire. But what awaits us tomorrow may eclipse even my darkest encounters. We must remain steadfast. Fear not, Lord of the Dead, Theseus replied, lifting his sword high. For tomorrow, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every mortal who has suffered under Typhon's reign. We shall not falter. As dawn broke, the heroes made their way toward Typhon's lair, a gaping maw in the earth that exhaled fumes of sulfur and ash. The air was thick with anticipation, each heartbeat echoing the rhythm of impending battle. Let the winds carry my name, let the earth quake beneath my feet. Theseus shouted as he stepped forward, a solitary figure ready to face the storm. Typhon, I am here to challenge your might. The response was immediate. A violent eruption of wind and flame erupted from the pit. Typhon's thunderous roar filled the air, a cacophony of rage. Foolish mortals, you dare summon me, your insolence will cost you dearly. Atalanta took position atop a nearby ridge, her arrows knocked and poised. Now, she cried, signaling for the others to prepare. Theseus sprinted toward the edge of the abyss, drawing Typhon's attention, while Heracles and Agamemnon flanked him, ready to spring the trap. The ground shook with Typhon's fury as serpents slithered forth, their hissing mingling with the gale that swept the battlefield. With precision, Atalanta loosed her arrows, aimed toward the beast's many heads. One by one, they struck true, forcing Typhon to recoil, giving Theseus the opening he needed. Now, brothers and sisters, strike together! The heroes surged forward, their wills united, every swing of their weapons fueled by righteous fury. Heracles' strength was a whirlwind of boulders, smashing into the monstrous form of Typhon. Agamemnon's sword glinted as it danced with precision, finding vulnerabilities in the chaos. Yet Typhon was relentless. His serpentine head slashed out, venom dripping from fangs as they struck at the heroes. A fierce wind lashed against them, but their spirits remained unbroken. Together, shouted Heracles, rallying the warriors as they fought, parrying and countering with all their might. We must hold the line until we can bind him. But as they fought, Typhon unleashed another wave of fury, a tempest of flames that engulfed them. A cry of pain erupted from Agamemnon as he was caught in the blaze, stumbling back with singed flesh. Atalanta rushed to his side, her heart pounding with fear. No, we must not lose anyone. Gathering her courage, she unleashed a volley of arrows, piercing the darkness and striking at Typhon's eyes. The beast howled in fury, momentarily blinded and infuriated. Now, Theseus, do it. Athena's voice rumbled in Theseus' mind, rich with divine command. Summoning all the cunning he possessed, Theseus spotted the chains forged by the gods, remnants of Typhon's previous imprisonment. With swift reflexes, he dashed towards them, attempting to bind the monster once again. Come forth, O chains of the ancients, bind this terror once more. But the chaos still swelled around him, Typhon thrashing furiously as he regained sight. You dare to bind me, he bellowed, his voice rumbling like an earthquake. You shall know despair. Just as Theseus reached for the chains, a serpentine head snapped forward, knocking him aside. He stumbled, but the flame of determination ignited within him anew. No, not now, we will not falter. With a great leap, Heracles hurled himself toward the chains. Together, we can do this, he bellowed, his voice a rallying cry echoing through the tumult. Theseus collected himself, his gaze locking on the beast. We shall not be your victims, Typhon. Together, we will end this. As they clashed in this final confrontation, the sky erupted above them, lightning crackled, illuminating the battlefield. The earth roared in protest as the gods watched over the struggle, their fates intertwined with those of the heroes below. With a surge of unity, the heroes combined their strength, drawing upon the will of the gods and the courage of their shared hearts. They launched at Typhon, their blows resonating with every ounce of power they possessed, a tempest of hope against overwhelming chaos. And yet, amidst the fray, Typhon unleashed a final, devastating roar, a tide of dark energy consuming the battlefield, scattering the heroes once more. Theseus, Heracles, and Atlantis struggled, feeling the grip of despair clawing at their hearts as the monstrous form began to slip away yet again. Not again. Theseus shouted, but Typhon's laughter echoed like thunder, mocking their struggle. As the dust settled, the heroes found themselves standing alone once more, the battlefield a hollow shell of their hope. Typhon had slipped back into the abyss, a serpent retreating to the depths of darkness, with exhaustion weighing heavily on. Part 3. The Shattered Silence. The battlefield lay in silence, a graveyard of dreams and aspirations, where the echoes of their hopes had been swallowed whole by Typhon's retreat. Thus lingered in the air, a ghostly reminder of the chaos unleashed. The heroes struggled to rise, their bodies battered, their spirits bruised. Theseus pushed against the ground, his heart pounding like a war drum. How can you be free again? We were so close. His voice cracked, agony slicing through his resolve. Atalanta knelt beside him, the weight of her hours pressing against her like a cloak of shame. We let ourselves believe in victory, but the battle is yet to be won, she replied, her voice steady but tinged with sorrow. This is but a moment in the saga of our fate. Heracles, nursing a gash on his arm, gritted his teeth as he stood tall. We fought with all our might, but Typhon's power is unfathomable. To face him again, we will need more than courage, we will need wisdom and allies. Agamemnon. Theseus called, searching for their noble leader amidst the wreckage. He found Agamemnon, struggling to rise, flames licking at his armor, but the spark of resilience glimmered in his eyes. I am here, he gasped, dragging himself from the remnants of his fallen comrades. We must regroup and prepare for his return. This defeat is not the end, but a test of our mettle. As the warriors slowly gathered, renewed determination filled the air. They formed a circle beneath the fading sun, their faces illuminated by the remnants of hope. The gods, unseen but eternally watching, hovered above them, their hearts heavy with the weight of what was to come. Suddenly, the skies erupted with a fierce wind, and from the vortex of darkness emerged the figure of Zeus, his presence commanding yet filled with an unmistakable urgency. Brave mortals, you have shown valor against a force that seeks to unravel creation itself. But heed my warning, Typhon is no mere beast, he embodies chaos and destruction. Athena stepped forward, her armor gleaming with a celestial glow. You have proven your courage, but courage alone will not bind the storm. We must delve deeper into his nature. We must find the heart of his chaos and snuff it out. Speak, wise Athena. Heracles urged, eagerness burning in his eyes. What must we do? Typhon is bound by the very essence of his own hubris, she explained, her voice echoing with ancient wisdom. If we can lead him into a false sense of security, we can exploit it, but we will require not just your strength, but cunning and sacrifice. Theseus nodded, absorbing her words like the rays of the sun. We will need to lure him into a trap, one so deep that his arrogance blinds him. But where do we draw the line? What must we sacrifice? The warriors exchanged uneasy glances, dread creeping into their hearts. Agamemnon spoke, his voice heavy with the burden of leadership. There is no victory without sacrifice. We each carry something precious within us. To defeat him, we must be willing to give up our greatest fears, for only then can we rise as one. As the sun sank lower in the sky, the heroes formulated their plan. They would draw Typhon out with a false offering, a symbol of weakness that would entice him into the open. Theseus, swift and cunning, volunteered to be the bait. I will draw him to us. He will not resist the chance to obliterate a mortal he believes is broken. The others expressed doubts, fear etched on their faces. You cannot face him alone. Atalanta protested, her heart racing. We will not let you walk into the maw of the beast unguarded. I must, Theseus replied with a fierce intensity. I am the only one who can bear the weight of his arrogance. We are only as strong as our weakest link, and Typhon believes me to be that link. Trust in our strength, and I will return to you. As night enveloped the mountains, the heroes gathered their strength, forging weapons imbued with the blessings of the gods. They prepared a sacred fire, a beacon of hope, and a lull for the storm. Tonight, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every soul threatened by Typhon's madness, Heracles declared, his voice resonating through the dim light. By dawn, we shall have our reckoning. As the moon rose high, casting silver light upon the land, Theseus set forth, his heart pounding like a war drum. He walked toward the edge of the abyss, the air thick with an unsettling silence. Eerie shadows danced around him, whispering threats and tales of despair. Typhon, he called, his voice echoing through the dark. I come to offer myself, a gift to the chaos that you embody. I am but a mortal, broken and alone. Come forth, feel your power over me. The ground trembled, a shudder rippling through the earth. From the depths of the chasm, a low growl resonated, and the sky darkened as Typhon emerged, a terrifying silhouette against the moonlit sky. His eyes glowed like molten gold, fixated on Theseus, his laughter echoing like thunder. Foolish mortal, you think I would be swayed by your despair? Typhon hissed, serpentine heads writhing around him like vipers. You are but a fleeting shadow in my storm. With a swift motion, Theseus drew his weapon, the blade glinting in the moonlight. Look closer, beast. I offer you a chance to revel in your might. Come and feast upon my failure. Typhon's arrogance grew palpable, his serpentine forms undulating with excitement. You seek to beg for mercy. This is a delight. I will savor your demise. With that, Typhon surged forward, drawn to the tantalizing prospect of immortal submission. But as he stepped into the moonlit clearing, the heroes emerged from the shadows, weapons raised high, their battle cries reverberating into the night. Now strike! Heracles roared, his voice like a tempest. The heroes unleashed a torrent of fury upon the beast, arrows soaring like shooting stars, spears thrusting with unyielding determination. The earth trembled as they struck at the very heart of chaos. Together! Agamemnon shouted, a war cry that resonated deep within their souls. They fought as one, each blow imbued with the strength of their unity and purpose. Typhon recoiled, his arrogance shattered by their tenacity. No, you cannot bind me, he held, rage boiling over as he unleashed torrents of fiery breath, scorching the earth around him. But the heroes did not waver. They danced through the chaos, weaving in and out of Typhon's fury, countering every strike with precision and endurance. Each serpent that lashed out fell beneath the weight of their combined strength. Now, Theseus, the chains! Atalanta cried as she felt another head, her eyes alight with fierce determination. With a surge of adrenaline, Theseus sprinted toward the hidden chains, where the remnants of divine power whispered promises of restraint. He grasped the chains, feeling their ancient energy pulse beneath his touch. By the will of the gods, I bind thee. But Typhon sensed his impending doom. With a deafening roar, he summoned a whirlwind of chaos, a tempest spiraling around him, hurling the heroes back. You think you can contain chaos? You are but insects beneath my wrath. The wind howled, knocking the heroes to their knees, but their spirits burned brighter than ever. We are not insects, shouted Heracles, lifting a massive boulder, hurling it at Typhon's face. We are warriors. With renewed fury, the heroes regrouped, their hearts synchronized against the storm. They launched themselves at Typhon, combining their strengths like a symphony of warriors. Theseus reached for the chains once more, the ancient metal gleaming with the light of 1,000 stars. Now, strike with all your might! Agamemnon commanded, and together they struck in unison, a cacophony of strength and determination echoing through the darkness. Typhon howled in defiance, but the combined will of the heroes surged through the battlefield like a tidal wave, crashing against the monster's defenses. The chain snaked around Typhon, glimmering as they bound his power, tightening with each passing moment. Fools, you cannot contain me. I am the storm. Typhon roared, but the heroes pressed on, their unity forging an unbreakable bond that echoed through the ages. With one final surge of energy, Theseus drew the chains taut, binding Typhon's limbs and sealing his fate. The air thickened with the weight of their victory, the storm's intensity slowly waning. He is trapped. Atalanta shouted, tears of relief streaming down her face as she collapsed, exhaustion washing over her. We did it. Yet, as they stood amidst the remnants of chaos, a chilling silence enveloped the battlefield. The shadows of Typhon's fury loomed larger, his voice echoing through the chasm, filled with rage and despair. This is not the end. My... Hashash Part 4, The Eclipse Dawn. A heavy silence fell upon the battlefield, laden with the weight of their struggle. Typhon, the embodiment of chaos, lay bound beneath the chain forged by the gods, a fragile glimmer of hope shining through the darkness. Yet the air crackled with tension, a reminder that their victory was not absolute, and the storm still breathed. Theseus, panting heavily, stared into the abyss where Typhon had been trapped. Victory should feel different, he murmured, a tremor in his voice. I expected elation, but all I feel is dread. Fear is a demon that lurks in every hero's heart, Agamemnon replied, his voice steady despite the exhaustion that clung to him. We have achieved a monumental feat, but we cannot let our guard down. The storm may still rage. As if summoned by Agamemnon's words, the winds began to stir again. Typhon's laughter, a haunting echo, reverberated from the depths of the chasm. Foolish mortals, do you truly believe you have won? I am chaos, your chains cannot hold me for long. The heroes exchanged glances, uncertainty creeping into the hearts of even the fiercest among them. What can we do? Atalanta whispered, her once fiery spirit dimmed by the weight of despair. He is a force of nature, and nature is ever-changing. We must maintain our unity, Heracles insisted, clenching his fists, his muscles taut with determination. If we falter, if we turn against one another, he will seize that opportunity. We are stronger than his chaos, stronger together. Together, yes, Athena's voice rang clear from above, shimmering like a beacon amidst their turmoil. But strength alone will not suffice. You must face the reality of his power. Typhon will not yield willingly. He is a creature of hubris, and hubris has its own vulnerabilities. As she spoke, the ground beneath them trembled, and with a thunderous roar, Typhon surged against his chains, the metal groaning in protest. You cannot bind me. I will turn your hopes to ash. I will make you feel the full force of my wrath. The sky darkened as Typhon's fury intensified, and a maelstrom of smoke and flame erupted from the chasm. The heroes steadied themselves, feeling the heat wash over them, the shadows clutching at their hearts. Regroup, Agamemnon shouted, rallying his warriors. We cannot allow fear to divide us. As they spread out, a plan began to form in Theseus' mind. We need to keep him distracted while we fortify the chains. If we can T-bind him completely, we must at least weaken him further. Distract him how? Asked Atalanta, her voice wavering. He is a god, and we are merely mortals. Mortals with the spirit of the gods within them. Heracles declared, his eyes blazing with conviction. We shall draw his attention, forcing his arrogance to surface. Let him believe he can easily crush us, and we will strike where he least expects. The heroes moved swiftly, splitting into groups as they prepared for the final confrontation. Agamemnon and Heracles took position at the forefront, their weapons poised to strike, while Atalanta climbed to a vantage point, her keen eyes scanning for an opening. Let him see us, Theseus called out, standing tall against the encroaching darkness. Let him feel the weight of our defiance. Fools! Typhon roared, breaking free from the chains with a sudden surge of primordial energy. The ground quaked as he burst forth, serpents hissing and fangs gnashing. You think your bravery can challenge me? I will drown this land in despair. With a roar that split the heavens, Typhon unleashed a torrent of flames, a river of fire cascading toward the heroes. They scattered, leaping away from the inferno, their hearts pounding as they struggled to regain their footing. Now, shouted Theseus, his voice cutting through the chaos. Strike with everything you have. Heracles, filled with righteous fury, charged forward, hurling boulders with all his might. The ground shook beneath him, a testament to his strength. You shall know the true meaning of pain, he bellowed, as one of the boulders struck Typhon squarely, staggering the beast. But Typhon roared, and the echoes of his laughter filled the air. You think me vulnerable? I am the storm incarnate. He lashed out with his serpents, and one wrapped tightly around Heracles' arm, squeezing like a vice. Break free! Agamemnon shouted, his sword glinting as he charged to help. He slashed at the serpent, freeing Heracles with a furious strike. We are not alone in this fight. Atalanta, from her perch, loosed arrows with deadly precision. Your eyes deceive you, monster. We are many, and you are but one. Each arrow found its mark, striking Typhon's serpentine heads, forcing him to rear back in anger. Enough! Typhon roared, the air thick with venom and fury. You will all perish. He summoned a tempest, winds howling and swirling, sending debris flying in all directions. Hold the line, shouted Theseus, rallying the heroes. We must push through this chaos, together. Together, echoed Heracles, gathering his strength. With the might of Olympus behind us. As they fought, Athena's voice resonated in their hearts. Remember, Typhon's arrogance is his greatest flaw. Use it against him. In that moment of unity, they struck again with purpose. Theseus started forward, beckoning Typhon's attention. Look upon me, Chaos, I am your greatest fame made flesh. The beast turned, fury igniting in its burning eyes. You will regret your insolence. Let him see the strength of mortals. Agamemnon shouted, and the heroes surged forward, brandishing their weapons, united in their defiance. With renewed determination, they pressed against the storm, each warrior aflame against the dark. Typhon unleashed a wave of serpents, but the heroes fought back, a whirlwind of steel and bravery. We will not yield, shouted Atalanta, her voice soaring above the din. For every one of us that falls, 10 will rise. As they battled fiercely, the storm intensified, and the very earth trembled beneath their feet. Typhon, desperate to regain control, unleashed a deafening roar, the sound reverberating through the mountains as he summoned the full might of nature's chaos. "Your flames cannot extinguish our light." Heracles thundered, his fists like hammers against the storm. "We are forged in battle, tempered by the fires of our struggles." But even as they fought valiantly, it became apparent that the struggle was taking its toll. Agamemnon stumbled, weariness pulling at his limbs. "We cannot relent," he gasped, drawing breath. "Keep fighting, we will not falter." Theseus cried, rallying their spirits. "We have faced the abyss, and we will emerge." At that moment, Typhon erupted with a final surge of energy, a cataclysmic roar that shook the heavens. "I will devour you. I will feast on your despair." He unleashed a tempest of flames that engulfed the battlefield, a curtain of fire descending like the end of days. In that instant, a bright light erupted from the heavens. Zeus descended, radiant and powerful, a figure of divine intervention. "Enough, Typhon, you shall not consume these mortals. The balance of our world must be restored." Zeus, the hero, shouted, hope igniting within them. Typhon, infuriated, turned on the king of the gods. "You cannot save them. They are mere mortals. Bound to the earth, I am chaos, and I will reign supreme. Your reign is at an end." Zeus proclaimed, his voice ringing with thunder. "With the might of Olympus, we will defeat you." The tempest stilled for a moment, as if the very universe held its breath. Zeus raised his hand, summoning a storm of lightning that crackled through the air, striking down upon Typhon with divine fury. The impact was immense, a blinding flash that illuminated the battlefield. Typhon howled, the sound piercing the storm, an anguished cry that echoed through eternity. "No, this cannot be! I am the storm!" But the tempest of Zeus's wrath surged forth, enveloping Typhon in blinding light. The heroes, feeling the power of their god, rallied behind Zeus, their spirits ignited with newfound strength. "Now, strike with all your might!" Theseus bellowed, and they surged forward. Together, they thrust their swords, arrows, and spears into the heart of the chaos, channeling the fury of the gods and the determination of mortals. Their combined strength pierced through the darkness, and with one final, resounding blow, Typhon was consumed by the storm. A deafening silence followed, the air thick with anticipation. The winds began to settle, and the light faded, revealing the heroes standing together, breathless and bloodied but unbroken. "I cannot believe it,"